This class is all about mobility using the roller. We're going to do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of rolling, and a little bit of moving through our spine. All you're going to need is your foam roller, and if you are pregnant, have just given birth recently, have a history of pelvic instability or a disc herniation, you will want to have a couple of pillows as well. So I have a little bit of pelvic instability, so I'm going to use my pillows. If your pelvis is all good, you don't need your pillows, so I'll show you what to do. We're going to start by lying down on the roller. You're going to put your hips up one end and your head up the other end. If you need to use your pillows, you're going to put your pillows at the end, sit on your pillows. This also works if you have a shorter roller. And then you're going to lie back on your roller like so. You're going to place your arms out to the sides with your palms facing the ceiling. Just let your arms rest down towards the floor. It's okay if your elbows don't touch the floor, as long as you're feeling a stretch across the front of your shoulders here and across your chest. All you need to do is lie there. And this is a wonderful stretch to do if you've been working at your computer all day, or you've been holding children, holding a baby for hours on end. You can get very tired across the front of your chest. So this is a great one to do at the end of the day when you're feeling all horribly tight in your upper back. You might get a stretch also in your upper back as well as across the front of your shoulders. Some days I can lie here for a really long time. It feels so nice and stretchy. From here, we're going to take the arms down to the hips. Then we're going to take them up over the head and all the way over. You're going to let your arms rest above your head. Let them fall wherever they go. If you have a shoulder injury and this is not comfortable for you, just come back to that first position that we were in. Otherwise, you're going to let those arms go above the head, and once again, letting gravity pull those arms down towards the floor. You might feel a stretch in your lats. You might get that stretch in your upper back. We're just going to hold the stretch for a few moments. Of course, if you experience any pain at any time, slowly come out of the position. From here, we're going to take our arms up over our shoulders. Our palms are going to be facing each other and they're going to be as wide as our shoulders. We're going into something called protraction, retraction, which is a movement of our shoulder blades or the scapulars. So you're going to keep your elbows straight, but you're going to reach your arms up to the ceiling, letting your shoulder blades peel away from each other. Then you're going to relax your shoulder blades back down and around the roller without bending the elbows. We're going to inhale to reach up, exhale, relax the shoulders back around the roller. Inhale to reach up, exhale to come down. You should feel like you're creating more space between your shoulder blades with every reach. Exhale to come down. So this one is called protraction and this one is called retraction. A great way to mobilize through the shoulders. We're going to switch to alternating now. So we're going to reach one up, letting the spine rotate, and then we'll bring that shoulder blade back down again. We're going to inhale, bring the other one up, exhale, bring the shoulder down, letting the spine rotate, reaching as far as you can go. Feeling those shoulders start to loosen up the more we move them. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, relax the shoulder down, keeping those elbows straight. Movement in the shoulders. Let's do one more on each arm. We're going to leave our arms up there, but we're going to move them into circles now. So we're going to take our arms overhead, out to the sides, down to the hips, and then back over the shoulders. We'll inhale to bring the arms up, exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, reach the arms up, exhale, come down, reaching out through the fingertips. Now you can go as big as you possibly can without pain. So if you have a shoulder pathology, you can make your circles smaller, or you can put your fingertips on your shoulders and you can do nice big circles with your elbows. But because we've basically halved the length of our arm, our lever length is shorter, so there's less pressure on that shoulder joint. Let's swap directions. So we're going to go, which direction were we going? We're going to go down to the hips, up and over. Inhaling over the head, exhale down to the hips. Now I'm really not sure which direction I was going. Just make sure you go the opposite direction to the one that you went the first time. Feeling those shoulders mobilizing. Now we're getting the synovial fluid starting to move around the joints, lubricating the joints and nourishing the cartilage. Last circle. And then we're going to take our arms down to the side. Just rest them down on the floor. We're just going to do a little neck stretch. So you're going to turn your head over to one side, letting it roll off the roller rather than sliding on the roller. Then you're going to bring your nose back up to the ceiling, and then we're going to go the other way. Let's inhale, nose to the ceiling, exhale to rotate. Feeling that stretch along the side of the neck. Some days you might feel it just on the longer side. Other days you might feel it on the opposite side as well. Just as far as you can comfortably go with that head. Nice and slowly. Slowly mobilizing. Feeling like that stretch is getting lesser with every repetition. Let's go over to the first side. We're going to hold it here, but we're going to do some little nods of the chin. Like you're saying yes, small and slow, pivoting from that very top vertebrae right at the base of your skull. And then we're going to take our head back up and over to the other side. Find that nice stretchy spot, and once again we'll do those small nods. Let's bring that nose back up, and we're going to roll off our roller. You can get rid of your pillows now. And we're going to give our our spine a nice warm up. Now, if you're finding that your legs are feeling really tight, might be the start of the day, you might want to do one of the hip mobility classes before we do this next one. Otherwise, you can just jump straight in with me. We've got our knees apart and our hips are down on our feet. Now, if you struggle to get your hips on your feet, grab a pillow, pop it between your hips and your heels. The angle of the hip is decreased and the angle of the, I should say increased, and same with the knee. And of course, if that's not enough for you, grab two pillows and pop it underneath. So for those with sore knees or have some hip pathologies, this is a great way, a great variation. So we're going to have our hands on our roller in front of us. We're going to go through flexion and extension. So it's basically an undulation or a camel. We're going to rock back through the hips first, bringing the belly button to the spine. Then we're going to nod our chin, and then we're going to dive down with our spine curved as much as we can and go down as far as you can comfortably go. From here, you're going to come up in the opposite direction in a back bend. So we start by lifting the head, then the chest. We're going to keep sort of sticking our bum out behind us as we come up through extension, and then we're going to roll down. So it's exactly like a spinal undulation in belly dance, but it's really big, and we're using that roller to support us on the way down and the way up. So do chin to chest, belly button to spine, walk the roller forward as far as you can comfortably go. We're going to inhale, lift head, then lift chest. Keep lifting the head and the eye line up towards the ceiling as we come up. Then we're going to exhale, roll back the other way, diving down head first. Inhale, lift and lengthen as we come up in our little back bend. And exhale, dive down. Perhaps the wrong choice of hairdo today. Inhale, coming up. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go in reverse. So we're going to go down in a little back bend or extension and up in flexion in the other direction. So this time we're going to lead with our sternum. Leading with the sternum, diving, well, not diving down, but coming down through our little extension. Then we're going to tuck the chin into the chest, the belly button to the spine, and we're going to roll up through flexion. Head comes up last. This time we're going to exhale as we come down, and we're going to inhale to roll up. Feeling those muscles along the lower back, lengthening as we come up. Exhale to come down. Push that roller forward as far as you can comfortably go. Inhale. Lifting head, lifting eyeline. Exhale, leg with the chest. And inhale to roll up. I'm feeling that stretch all across my upper back, my lower back. Let's do 2 more. Of course, if you feel like you've done enough and your body isn't happy to keep going, you can just pause for a moment. Remember, part of the benefit of this style of Pilates is all about body awareness, which I know as dancers you guys all have, but this just improves it to an even deeper level because we're not really thinking about how it looks as such. It's more about how it feels and are we using the correct muscles. All right, let's move on to our next exercise now. I love this one because my upper back is always really tight. So we're going to roll over and we're going to lean on our roller. Now we're going to interlace our fingers and then we're going to place our interlaced hands at the base of our skull. Now, if you've got your hair out like me, you'll need to gather up your hair. Otherwise, it'll get stuck under the roller. Make sure you've got room behind you as well. You don't have any furniture behind you or cat's tails. We're going to lift up our hips. We're going to roll up to the base of the neck and then we're going to roll down past the bra strap or to the bra strap and then up again. Now you can have your body parallel to the floor or you can have your head and chest lifted. You can have your elbows in close to your ears or you can have your elbows out wide. I personally prefer to have my elbows in close because it gives me more surface area of my muscles to roll when I've brought my scapulars, my shoulder blades out of the way. Now I just got a bit too close to my mirror then, so I just shuffled down a bit. And I can really feel that on my right side. So what you can do is tilt a little bit to that one side if you're feeling tighter on that side and have a little bit more weight on that one side. Or you can keep the weight in the center. If you have a particularly tight spot, you could hang out there. So if it's just below the base of the neck, you could do a few rolls there or go all the way over, up and down. Once again, I'm getting a bit close to my mirror. You will tend to roll backwards as you go, so just be aware of that. You don't want to bop your head into anything. I'm doing some little rolls just under my right shoulder blade there. It's quite good. All right, from here, we're going to place our hips down on the floor. We're going to bring our pelvis into a pelvic tilt. So I want you to roll your pelvis this way, drawing your belly button to your spine and sinking your lower back down towards the floor. You're going to keep your pelvis in that position. You're going to bring your elbows in close and you're going to take your head and chest over the roller for an upper back stretch. Now that roller is slightly too low for me, so I'm just going to slide my hips down about 1/2 centimetre until I'm just in that right spot. So you might need to have a little bit of a play to find the correct spot for you. It's going to be different on everybody. We're going to keep drawing the belly button to the spine, maintaining our pelvic tilt as our head and chest is over the roller. Feeling that in the upper back, you might feel it even up your triceps, maybe in your lats. We're going to come out of that stretch now by using our arms to lift our head so there's no strain on the neck. Then we're going to nod the chin to the chest and then slide the sternum down towards the belly button in a curl up. Keep your pelvis where it is. Inhale, take head and chest back over the roller. Exhale, using arms to lift head, chin to chest, sternum to belly button. Inhale, take head and chest back over the roller. Feeling that stretch right in that upper back. You can also use this stretch to improve your mobility in that upper back area. Improve your camels, your undulations, your chest lifts and drops. those kinds of upper body movements. Exhale to lift, inhale to go over. At any point you can slide the roller up or down, so I'm just going to move down a little bit. I'm going to inhale to lift, exhale. Sorry, I got that muddled up. We're going to exhale to lift. Inhale, go into the stretch. Exhale, lifting up into our curl up. Of course, you don't have to do as many as I'm doing. If a couple is right for you today, you can just do a couple. We're going to release the head and we're going to roll off our roller. But this time we're going to come to a sitting position. And we're going to sit on our roller. Now, if you find it difficult to have your arms behind you like this because of a shoulder injury, you can put your hand on a pillow or a yoga block or something a bit higher than the floor, and that decreases the pressure on that shoulder and wrist as well. We're going to roll up to the top of the pelvis, down over the fleshy parts of our glutes. So we've got our feet on the floor, arms behind us, rolling up and down the back of our pelvis and our glute muscles. Feet are on the floor in parallel. It should feel like a deep massage, or maybe not too deep just yet. We're going to go in a little bit deeper in a moment. From here, we're going to cross the ankle, or the leg that's closest to the screen over. So we're going to do the ankle over the knee, or if you have arthritis in your hip, you can do knees together, or for those with pretty bad arthritis, you might want to keep your knees together and tilt your hips to the direction of the screen. If your hips are feeling okay to cross the ankle over, go into this position, then dip your hips down towards the screen. We're going to roll up and down over just that one side. So I've got all the weight on my left hip, on the back of my hip, up to the top of the pelvis, down over the fleshy bits of my glutes. And I can definitely feel the workout I did yesterday as I start to roll it. So this is fantastic when your hips are feeling tight, when your lower back is feeling tight, because tight glutes will pull your pelvis out of its neutral alignment, and that can cause tension through the lower back. Rolling up and down. Now, find a spot that feels most tight or tender to you. Mine is about there today. We're going to hold that spot and then we're going to rock side to side. If you have both your knees together, you can still rock side to side, like so, with the weight over on that one hip. Feeling that massage feeling in the hips. And I'm just going to move my roller down a little bit and, ooh, there it is. Found it. Nice and tender. Once you've had enough, you're going to release that leg. Either tilt your hips to your knees to the other side, or cross your ankle over the knee, or your knee over the knee. Remember, if you have a pathology like hip arthritis, you really want to do the variation that causes the least amount of damage to your already damaged joint. So taking your knee out like this will increase the damage and increase the pain. So you want to keep either those knees together or those feet together. Rolling up and down. How does this side compare to the other side? Mine is not nearly as tight on this side. Obviously, I wasn't working as hard on this hip yesterday as my left side. Make sure you go all the way up to the top of the pelvis, because you can get a little bit tight up towards the superior part of the glutes. So up towards where they insert on the top of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis bone. I quite often do rolling in front of the TV. I have been known to get up in the middle of the night and do a rolling session because something is hurting too much for me to have a nice sound sleep. Let's find that tight spot on this side. It might be in a completely different spot to the other side, and we're going to rock side to side. Or if you have both feet on the floor, still rocking over that tight bit. Remember, you can have your hands on maybe a pile of books or a yoga block or some pillows so that you're not so far down. Feel free to move a little bit if you've got a slightly different spot you want to roll over. Of course, there are lots of different parts that we can roll, and there are some other myofascial rolling videos in this series. But we're going to move on to another mobility exercise now. This one's called Thread the Needle. We're going to have our roller on one side of our mat. We're going to bring ourselves into a 4-point kneeling position. So we have our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders. Now, when we do this exercise, we don't want to be shifting from side to side. So we want to keep our spine on its axis. I want you to find your neutral. So there should be a little curve in your spine this way. The shoulder blades should be completely flat and the back of the head is in line with the spine. From here, you're going to take the hand that's not closest to the roller, so this one, it's going to come out to the side and you're going to rotate through your spine and follow your hand with your head and eyes without shifting yourself to the side. Then you're going to take your arm underneath you, put the back of your hand on your roller, but keep this elbow straight as you rotate the other direction. It's just a small rotation. I can really feel that through my mid-spine. We're going to inhale, reach the arm, follow with your head and eyes, and then exhale, take the back of your hand to the roller, follow through with your head and eyes this way as well. Don't forget to maintain your neutral. I just lost mine a bit there. You can see, there we go, and back to neutral. Inhale, and exhale, thread the needle. Went a little bit further that time. Either have a little rest. Remember, you can put your hand on your fist if that's more comfortable, or do a fourth one with me. The more time you spend on the floor with your weight on your wrists, the easier it gets to keep the weight on your wrists. If that's a little bit too strong for you, remember you can fold up a towel and put your heels of your palms on your towel and then the fingers on the floor, and that will decrease the angle, make the angle less intense at the wrists. Let's go on to the second variation now, but stay on the same side. We're going to inhale to reach up, exhale, thread the needle, but this time you're going to take your ear and the back of your shoulder all the way down to the floor to feel a stretch through the back of that shoulder. We're going to inhale to rotate, looking at the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Once again, we're keeping our weight in the center. We're not shifting from side to side. Nothing shifts. Stay in the center. Let's do one more. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to thread the needle. And release. Let's place our hand down on the floor. We're going to move our roller to the other side. So the roller is now on the other side of your mat, and I have a little friend to help me for this side. Placing our hands down on the floor, knees underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, take that arm up towards the ceiling, following with our head and eyes, keeping our weight equal on both knees. Exhale, stay up, place the back of your fingers on your roller and reach, keeping that spine in the center as you rotate around the axis of your spine. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, thread the needle. Follow with your head and eyes. Feel that stretch across the top of the shoulders. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, thread the needle. You can either have a rest now for those wrists, or you can do one more with me. I find that 3 or 4 is kind of a nice amount. If you need to have a rest in between this variation and the next one, you can give those hands a little shake, and then we'll come back down onto our hands and knees. This time we're going to bring the back of our shoulder and our ear all the way to the floor. And inhale to reach up. Exhale. Thread the needle all the way down. Inhale. Rotate looking up at the ceiling. Exhale. Thread the needle. Oh, I'm really feeling those twisty, stretchy feelings now. Last time. And exhale. And releasing hands back to the floor. Let's finish off with one more exercise. This is our spine curl variation, so make sure you have done the class on spine curls before you attempt this one. We're going to place our roller at the foot of our mat, and we're going to roll down until we're on our backs. Then we're going to place our feet on our roller. Arms are down by our sides. We're going to keep our pelvis in neutral like we do in our normal spine curl. Let's start with a couple of pelvic tilts first. Going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, rock the pelvis out of neutral until that lower back is lengthened along the floor. Then we're going to inhale, rock our pelvis back to neutral. Exhale to tilt. Now, if your hamstrings are feeling quite tight, or first thing in the morning, you might want to stop here and just do a quick hamstring stretch, because we are going to be working them a little bit harder with our feet on the roller. Inhale, rock back to neutral. Let's do one more. Exhale, sink and scoop that lower tummy. Inhale, rock back to neutral. Let's go all the way up now. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, then squeeze the glutes. Roll the spine up, pressing hips to the ceiling. Should be able to draw a straight line through the side of your body. Palms on the floor, fingers long. Exhale, roll down, one bone at a time, articulating as you go. Inhale, rock back to neutral. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, roll on up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, open the front of the shoulders, take the spine down onto the floor, one bone at a time, lengthening as you go. Inhale, rock your pelvis back to neutral. Let's do one more. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, roll on up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, rolling down, one bone at a time. We're going to do one more variation. We're going to place our feet in a little first position, a little V. You can still keep the soles of your feet on the floor. Your knees are now apart in a bit of a diamond shape. We're going to do the same exercise. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, roll the spine up. Of course, you can always do this with your feet flat on the floor if you're finding it's too much with the roller. Exhale slowly to unroll that spine, rock back to neutral. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, roll on up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down, one bone at a time. Inhale, rock back to neutral. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, roll on up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, rolling down, one bone at a time. From here, you can straighten your legs out, push the heels out away from you, stretch through the back of those legs. And that is the end of our mobility session using our foam roller.